A Saudi man has divorced his wife at their wedding after seeing her face for the first time. I know that news of a divorce is not really rare these days in the US. Most weddings, most marriages end in divorce. This one is a little bit odd. It's in Saudi Arabia. A groom asked his wife for a divorce while she was still wearing her wedding dress, nearly right after exchanging vows. The bride and groom were from a town called Medina. They had never met in person, which is not uncommon for people marrying in some parts of the Middle East. In Saudi customs, a man and woman are permitted to look at each other only once before the wedding. This couple opted not to even take that first glance. The wedding took place without issue. The trouble began when the couple had to pose for a photographer. That's when the bride removed her veil and smiled. And the groom did not like what he saw, Lewis, and said, "You are not the girl I want to marry. You are not the one I had imagined. I am sorry, but I divorce you." The bride had a total breakdown and had to be taken to a hospital. What an insane story, Lewis.
It's an insane story. It's an insane situation with these arranged marriages and the whole thing. I would say you're not only doing yourself a major disservice to yourself and your partner if you are not intimate with them before getting married. But not even looking at them is certainly a recipe for disaster.
Lewis won't even go on a date without looking at pictures of the person. And this guy married someone without even knowing what she looked like. Isn't that amazing, Lewis?
Incredible. Even more amazing is you making things up about me. But yeah, anyway, this is clearly this is no way to conduct your life. I mean, is this why there are so many unhappy people and bad marriages, and why women are treated so poorly? Is because you don't see the other person, you don't talk to the other person. All of a sudden you get married to the other person and these people end up hating each other.
I would actually argue that this is probably the simplest way that this marriage could end for the woman. Because if this is how it all started and this is how this went, I can only imagine that it would have been much worse 10 years from now. She probably should be glad that this is the way it went.
Imagine how many situations just like this, the two people don't like each other, don't like the way the other one looks, and say, you know what, our parents are going to be upset. Let's just keep everything cool, and let's just get married and deal with it. And then boom, the two are miserable for the rest of their lives.
Relationship advice from producer Lewis. This should be a segment. I like it.